We're back on the Bronx Journal, and let me tell you, I am so impressed. I am so proud of my student Giselle Fernandez of the way you handled that whole interview. This was wonderful. Everybody here is really impressed, especially up in the control room. How did it feel to do your own hosting?
Well, you know, every girl has. I mean, for me, I had this dream of I want to be a host. I want to be a host, and then to actually get the opportunity to be a host. It feels amazing. I would love to do this again.
You've been on camera before, though.
I have.
Okay, but not on a set
No,
like
never.
this, reading from a teleprompter.
Never.
Okay.
I've done camera work, but it's been more of a interviewing, but you don't see me. You hear me.
Okay.
So I've never even, I still don't know what I look like.
Oh, well, you will soon.
I know.
But tell me about this. Tell me, the experience itself. Once you got going, because I know everybody gets the jitters in the very beginning, butterflies in your stomach.
Oh, yes.
But once you got going, did you relax? Did you feel like, okay, I can do this? When did you get your confidence?
I mean, at the beginning, I was very nervous,
Okay.
especially standing next to you at the beginning. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess up. But then as I sat down and I just kept listening to your advice. You're having a conversation. I just forgot about the cameras, forgot about everything, and just had fun with it. I mean, I guess the hardest part was the questions.
Mm-hmm. And the moment you got done, you said, I definitely want to do this again.
I definitely want to do this again, and I'm going to make sure I book more shows so that I can do this
All right,
again.
well, that's what I'm looking for in the class. But tell us a little bit more. Tell your classmates who are behind the cameras right now or who are doing everything else that it takes to make a show, what your experience was like. What advice would you give them?
Well, it's hot up here.
It's very hot, the lights, right?
That's the first. It's very hot up here. It's nerve-wracking, but it's something that if you don't, what I say is the Bronx Journal and the Bronx Net has given you they throw you on the field. It's like, it's hands-on. It's like throwing you in the pool and you don't know how to swim. You're going to learn how to swim like this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just standing here, it's like, it's now or never. So if you have this opportunity to just come up here and just to learn, because I'm learning, it's amazing just to know that you can do something and that one day, I don't know when I get to see myself, I'm going to say, oh my God, I did this. And hopefully I can just show this to other people if it's amazing. And I feel like I'm learning.
Explain to folks at home what the process was like. You not only hosted this two segments on the show,
I also
but you produced them.
it,
So
yes.
tell people what it is that it's required of you in my class.
Well, it takes time and it takes dedication because I was on these phones. I was like, I have a story, study abroad.
Inviting the guests.
Just inviting these guests. And a lot of the guests, Emmanuel Perez can tell you, I was in his office every day and I would sit there like, are you coming to my show? Are you ready? Can I book you? Can I confirm? And I'm calling. I was always calling. You can't be shy to call people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be shy to say, I need you. There's a show. And it feels pretty cool saying, oh, I'm producing a show. So can you be part of my segment?
And most people want to be on TV. It's not
Everybody
really that
wants
hard to convince them, right?
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were like, oh my God, what am I going to say? It's very nerve-wracking. But they say yes. They're very nice. And if they say no, then okay. But it takes a lot of dedication to be part of it. And you're just going to have to want it. Like if you, for instance, you give ideas of stories, I'm constantly jotting down. Every story you have, I make sure I'm thinking of people. Who can I call? I want this story. I want this story. Obviously, I can't have every story because it's impossible. But I just make sure that dedication is there. You just have to call and call and call, even if they say no. But we were only supposed to do 3 segments to pass the class. Mm-hmm. And I'm calling you and telling you, Professor, I have like 7. What do I do now?
7 segments you have. We're going to have to make extra room for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tell me about the experience itself, because I was in your ear half the time talking to you. People don't know that, but you're wearing an IFB when you were questioning your guests, and I was talking to you. How was that? I mean, was I because one of the things that we teach here is that students cannot be disrupted when they're speaking, or the host cannot be disrupted when you're speaking because it throws you off. Did I talk to you at the right time? Was it clear? How did that work?
It was perfect. You always spoke when I was listening. And I just made sure that, because I watched you, and you just nod, and you smile, and you nod. So I made sure I did the same thing. Just to
you watched me last week when we were doing another show, okay.
So I said, he smiles and nods. That means he understood what they're telling him. Mm-hmm. So I made sure I did the same thing, just to let them know and to let you know, I got it. But when it'd be like 1 minute, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to break. And I don't want to interrupt what they're saying. So I'm like, okay, wait right there when we come back.
Well, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. The thing is, you don't want to interrupt them in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a thought. You want them, the person you're interviewing, to complete the thought, and then you have to say, excuse me. And here's a tip for everybody listening at home. You want to, when you go to commercial, you want to give them a teaser. You want to make sure that they stay tuned, that they don't switch channels when you go to commercials. So what you do is you say, when we come back, we're gonna, it's gonna even be better. Let me tell you, when we come back, we got so much more stuff to tell you. Yeah. So that's what it's called a hook. You hook people into staying tuned.
What was very hard also was writing the script.
Okay, tell us about that.
Because I had to write my own script as part of the class requirements and my own questions. And I'm emailing Desiree, who works with us, and I'm like, oh my God, what do you do?
Now, people should know this, what we're doing right now is not scripted. When you be my script is when we're introducing the show in the very beginning, you're reading from a teleprompter, right?
Yes.
But from that point on, you're on your own.
Then you're on your own.
Okay, and you got to keep up with whatever questions you want to ask the person and make sure that they all get answered.
Yes, and I'm an English major. I come here and I study English, and I'm so into the academic writing. And there's very different from TV writing. So I think that's my biggest, I need to work on that, whole academic and TV. It's a little simpler, but I just want to make it so complicated.
No, listen, you did a wonderful job. Everybody here is very impressed. I think whether we like it or not, we're going to have Giselle Fernandez hosting a lot more shows of the Bronx Journal, and a lot of other students, frankly, because there's several other students in the class who are very interested in doing what you've done today.
I recommend it. I mean,
so, it was a good experience.
It was the best experience I've had.
Okay, we'll do it again. And I think we have to go now. I don't have an IFB this time, but the countdown is here. So we'll see you very soon on another edition of the Bronx Journal. Hasta pronto. That was easy, right? Now we stay.